23:22. The exact time is 11:22 p.m. on November 5th, watching a back and forth election. And right now it's 193 Harris, 216 Trump. I've been joking about the fact that just like the AVP bulletin point for the movie, the slogan is basically whoever wins, we lose. So here we are dealing with that. But one thing to keep in mind is the title of this, I find so fitting, is shame doesn't gain success. There's been a lot of attacks, if you will, on not just black men, but black society in general, but mainly black men. From talks with the brothers to telling women to vote behind their men's backs to trash trucks and spy earrings. This has been a blockbuster of an election season. But what does the outcome determine in regards to people in their common everyday lives? And I don't mean how the government is going to affect your lives. No. I'm talking about how will your house look? Will it be in order? Will it be in chaos? Will it be in disarray? Will it be a rift? I don't know, for better or worse or something, right? In sickness and in health, didn't mention a damn thing about political views. If you want to sit back in the echo chamber and argue with the people that have no interest for you or anyone in the house that you habitate with, your loved ones, your children, your husband, your wife, your family members, whomever. Even though they say they have an interest in what you have going on and they want to see things get better for you, deep down, it seems kind of suspect that they're pushing harder for your vote to get them in versus actually giving a damn about your family. Honestly, I think the winners are the households that can sit down and have an actual mature conversation about their futures. They can and will ignore the dumbass messages and all the bullshit that's going on. I don't know. How long have you been together? 20 years, 30 years, 1 year, 2 weeks. Honestly, the ones with less time I could see falling apart. However, the ones that are sitting together and they've been together for let's say bare minimum 10 years. If you're willing to let something like this break you apart, you're bound in marriage. And if you are not understanding the fact that the actual protection that you're supposed to get is from the power that resides in your house, the first person and the first point of protection really is supposed to be your husband if you're a wife. So there's no real need to worry about if things are going to change and if you're not going to be protected and if your body is going to be in danger. Because if the man really loves you, he's going to do whatever he has to do in order to make sure that you do not come across any strife or any type of harm or anything that will put your life in danger. At least that's what love is supposed to be. If you're with somebody who isn't really putting forth the effort to prove to you that they're trying to be there with you for better or for worse, sickness and health, till death do you part, then I guess politics are for you. But you really should ask yourself, should something happen and you allow the politician, quote unquote, into your home, not physically, but mentally, where will the politician be when you are followed home? Where will they be when you cannot afford food? Where will they be when your child needs to be taught how to be strong? Where will they be at whenever a girl needs to be taught how to be a girl, or a man needs to be taught, a boy needs to be taught how to be a man? The same place they're always at, on TV, on the screen, on the radio, on podcasts. Feeding you the things that you need to hear in order to feel like your opinion matters and you're important. It's part of the extension game. Because if you look at the way that they're targeting people, you often hear the phrase real man. It's being overused to the point where society is overlooking what a quote unquote real man will cause you to miss out on. Your man. See, often in society, we're told that it is a bad thing to be stoic. It is a bad thing to be strong. It is a bad thing to be tough. But at the end of the day, a man must stand stoic and must not bend to the want of society and never the ignorance of the need. Honestly, at this point, if I'm not deemed as a quote unquote real man, then perhaps you should go searching for one who is. But you can prepare to fail in a quest that is not one of your own. You can demonize masculinity all you want, but when you need it, it won't be there for you. The heavy lifting, the dangerous jobs, the harsh and very rough conditions of certain jobs, the body-changing weather, the calloused hands, they will not be there for you. In a world built by men, the men are not accepted or acknowledged when they should be. Every man's success is a silent victory, but will still be a victory nonetheless. But let's talk about couples and what the purpose of a couple is supposed to be. A couple is meant to protect each other. The man fights the world in ways women cannot, and vice versa. A woman is meant to mend and heal after a man has fought to protect and provide. She is the very visage of that man's will and want to achieve. She is the constant reminder of the success he has gained and what he is willing to continue to work and sometimes inevitably die for. There should be no other force great enough to remove you from a protector and a provider, or a nourisher or a caretaker and the bearer of your legacy. All other efforts should be futile and nothing but a waste of time. You will only do better on your own instead of being with someone who is not on code with keeping the family intact. Now, this isn't me trying to tell you what to do with your relationship, because in all honesty, whoever you're with is going to be more willing and able to do things that I can't do for you, nor am I willing to do for you. But I will offer good advice to good people who are willing to consider what they have and not squander it. In a society where relationships aren't really cherished as much as they used to be, and the functionality of what an actual relationship is not understood, we're living in a time where a man's body alone does not have any true value to society other than being drafted away into a war to be sacrificed on its anvil. Other than that, men are expendable and continue to do so and be so until otherwise stated in society. We even have a candidate that clearly said that they could not think of any laws or any rulings that forced a man's will to be against his own body or to be against him. Long story short, I'm basically getting at the point that there's a draft. The draft is something that is meant to basically bring in bodies for war. Now, granted, we do have women that can sign up or volunteer to be in the military. However, it is mandatory for a man to sign up for the draft, the selective service. Not doing so is a felony. Let's talk about women and their bodies. In all honesty, women have had autonomy of their bodies for a long time now. Granted, yes, laws back then were draconic. They didn't give women too much freedom, and they didn't really give them too many rights. As the years progressed, rights started coming left and right. But maybe they've gotten taken for granted. I don't know. In all honesty, if you hear the story about the evacuation from, I think it was Iran, and the horrors that happened out there whenever the night came, and you compare it to what's going on over here in America, women are a lot more protected than they can actually understand. I urge you to go listen to that story. It's on Sean Ryan's podcast. I'll link it down below. But nonetheless, I wouldn't want that for my women. And by women, I mean my girlfriend and my daughter. It's my duty as a man to protect them and make sure that they can sleep soundly at night and nothing of evil can bother them. If I'm not doing that, I'm not doing my job, no matter what the government says, no matter what the state says. If I'm not doing my best to protect the women that are in my life, then I'm failing. However, the last thing I'm trying to do is leave the woman in my life, especially whenever we've come to a consensus, a conclusion basically of how we are going to continue to be together, no matter what, because we have dedicated ourselves to that. I've been married before. I've been divorced before. I'm in a relationship before. I've been in relationships before. I'm in a long-term relationship. It is my duty to protect that person that I'm with. Women, I urge you to consider that in the man that you're with. Because at the end of the day, he's not being protected by you. And if the man is not being protected by you, then ultimately it boils down to you being the most disrespected and the most unprotected, because the warrior class will not be there, because the warrior class will be extinct. We work hand in hand together. We should not be at odds with one another like they want us to be. But if anything, we should be working together for a better and brighter black future. Don't let these politicians lead you down the wrong path. Don't let these politicians sacrifice what you've worked hard for and built up in your life. You are worth more than what they take you for, and you're worth more than what you are giving yourself credit for. But we cannot be worth anything if we are not looking past the shame that has been put upon us by certain former figureheads, if you will. We cannot be anything if we accept the insults that are coming from celebrities who, in all honesty, have nothing to do with your life or my life or anyone else's life that lives in the middle class, lower class, whatever. They do not care. They are paid. That's what they are there to be paid. It's entertainment. It is not real life. You got the people that are on code that are actually out there in these streets, side by side, standing up against this mess. We all need to be like that. Because if we're not, it's only a matter of time before legacy doesn't matter anymore. Stand strong with the people that you've dedicated your life to. Don't let these fools take you for granted.